Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Touch base with you on this thing for this paddle handle, just so that I could understand what it was that you had said. Have you got that email that I sent, or that where you talked about the option?
Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking, so you have you've got a 4591 on your door, an Adams Rite 4591.
Is that what I have? Okay.
Actually, no, it's a 4590.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It's bolted to the door at 2 points behind it.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the upper area, the one that's clearly the mounting point that's clearly distressed, that you may be able to run a bolt through the door and just through bolt it.
Okay. So we'll do it so drill a hole on the outside.
Right. Exactly.
And then come through into that one and just get into that connection.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know if that's possible because I don't know if the lock body's in the way, but it doesn't appear to be so. Although it might be.
It might be. Okay. So what I'm thinking that I would do is I do have a fellow that, he's installed a whole bunch of Pella, their new hurricane-rated sliding doors in our condo building and stuff. And he seems to just be, he's not a dedicated lock guy, but he is dealing with a lot of doors. And I'm going to have him come in, but if I needed to drill through the aluminum frame or do anything, I would have him do it. In the meantime, Richard, what I'm thinking is I should order another one of these paddles from you, because I'm assuming that something's not doing the connection. So is it that, what do you call it, like the pin that goes inside the lock that turns?
Well, there is a cam plug that's there that pulls the latch back.
So I think that something's busted. Well, whether it's not sitting in there, it's not reaching that cam plug, whether the cam plug busted. And so on this last order that I got from you in 2018, I still have the 4510, the dead latch. It actually never got replaced. So we've got that as a spare. And I'm thinking if I have one of these, the paddles as a spare, or potentially use it when I have him come look. And I could give him the idea of that, let's mount it through, or do we just sort of try this? Did you think any of the levers would work? I'm just thinking there would be less stress on it. Is there any levers that work with the 4510?
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do a lever handle. I don't know if it's going to give you any sizable advantage, and plus the footprint wouldn't be identical to the unit that you have installed there now.
Okay. So why don't we try to make this paddle work, either with that option of, doing a hole through. He can look at it when he dismantles it. He could look to see if the lock body is in the way or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay.
If I had measured like this paddle, the 4590, does it matter the door thickness? Like maybe I measured incorrectly the first time that I ordered it. Maybe it's not.
The door thickness does technically matter.
Okay.
I don't know that it matters in your application because you have a standard 1 3/4 thick door.
Well, I'm assuming that I do. Maybe it's not. Could that be part of what the issue is? Is maybe it's just a bit too long?
No.
No? Okay. Okay.
Now, there's probably some fatigue or damage to the mounting bolt or package or the prep in the door itself.
Right.
So that's where the trouble's coming into.
Yeah, and since I've got this other lock body that we just never, the 4510 from this order that actually never got, is there any other parts that we should buy, like this cam plug thingy or cam lock, or is it, because we live on an island and it takes us, from, by the time it gets to our shippers in Florida and then over, it's like sort of 10 to 14 days. I sometimes just like to have, even if it's overkill, it could be these three things. So you get, those here so that if it is, then I'm not waiting another 2 weeks.
Well, having parts available is always a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
The cam plug you have there now could be working perfectly well, and the fact that the unit is not securely affixed to the door could be the culprit as to why it doesn't work reliably, and there could be nothing wrong with the cam plug you have, and you're going to have one with this 4590.
Okay, it comes with it, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard to have an extra hinge, have an extra strike.
I just didn't know if there was anything in this. I think the strike is fine. I think that really the issue is something there. So as long as it looks like, with doing the 4590 that we're getting sort of maybe, hopefully, if it comes with that cam thing and it comes with the outside, then I can have him take a look at it and just sort of say, hey, let's drill the hole if it's not in the way. And because I have the 4510 extra, he could look at that. We can overlay it on the door and see where everything goes, right? And whether drilling through would impinge the lock body.
Exactly. I would try that first because I think that it might be a solution, or the gentleman might come up with the idea of, and you have a 4510 latch or whatever the latch is, perhaps that latch body is removed from the door. Pull it out of the door. Pull the 4590 off. Pull the 4510 out of the door. Then he can get his hand inside the cavity of the door, and maybe he can just put a nut on the inside of that bolt so that you don't have to drill it through the door. So what I'm driving at is, the easy thing to do is to take your money and ship you a new piece of hardware. But 2001 happened. 2008 happened. Back then, back in the 90s when Clinton was president, if I got a nail in the tire, give me 4 new tires. Well, we don't do that anymore, okay?
Yeah.
So that's, when my great-grandmother spoke about living through the Great Depression, she almost brought herself to tears and going through, these really awful times like COVID, right? People gone. I think we do change our brain chemistry and look for ways to not spend money first, and that's all I'm going here with it.
And I get that, and I think what it is because we live here and I don't have the ability to get things in 3 days if you're in America, and so we've developed. I come from Alberta, Canada. And originally, and we have my girlfriend, that best friend from high school, is Mormon, and what they had in their basement was a 1-year supply of food. That's what their church believes in. And so living on an island, I say to my husband, I said, I've gone a little bit Mormon. I've got backup of everything. And so that is unfortunate. How we sort of survive here is, when you get down to 2. You order some more because, with COVID that happened, as you said, we didn't have the ability we would always just fly to America and you'd go once a month and you'd pick up packages and you'd do things, and we just can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, I appreciate you definitely trying. But what I would, ideally, if we could get one of these 4590s, because of course getting the guys out to help too is difficult. So at least if I have the potential part here, if that cam plug is stripped, and so I'm thinking, the 4590 in what did we order it in? It was the finished 313 last time, the anodized bronze. But it didn't look quite right in the photo.
The one you have is not 313. In your pictures.
Yeah, and what happened is that was the one that the window and door guy, not the one that I would use, had ordered and put in. So he put in the wrong one on that photo. So originally I had ordered the 313.
Do you want 313 or the aluminum color?
What's my door frame? What would you call that? It's like a champagne-y.
Exactly.
Yeah.
313. I would be tempted to. 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 match the rest of the hardware. I mean, you do have aluminum cylinders and aluminum pull handles.
Yeah.
I probably, it's right next to your pull handle. I would probably leave it
Exactly.
aluminum.
Okay, sure. And I don't know, what finish is that?
Oh, 628.
628. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So let's do that in the 628.
Yeah.
And then before we'd had it right hand reverse. Is that the correct?
This thing could be handed any of the 4 ways when it arrives.
Ah, okay.
105, 698. Okay, 628. Okay, and we'll get one of those made up and shipped out. What is the credit card information?
Yep, and so it's you've got the same ship to address that we had before. And then do you guys take American Express?
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.